Okay, what is good, people? To be honest, I saw a PL series that really caught my eye, and I had a lot to say. It was Zoe aka Tensai versus Phonos, or as PL happened today, I think. I had a lot to say, so I talked with them, after the battle, and about things that could have gone differently. And I'm like, wait, I can just make a video out of this, and maybe people will find it helpful because there's a few things that happened with like the when I had to get a good video that I kind of didn't want, or I didn't fully go over, and I'm like, okay, maybe I can provide some examples and just like some different stuff. So let's go. So this is I have a Google Doc because I want to get to some stuff I talked about with Stravinch later, but let's start off with this Zora series, okay? So Lonzo got matchup. I call Tensai aka Zo Lonzo, so just so you know, Lonzo got a good matchup, or like playable matchup, like every game. And this was a series where Euphonos clicked very, very sane. Usually he clicks really like unhinged and weird, but this was a series he played kind of like a normal person. So I wanted to go over this because I think you can learn a lot from this series. So we got Hoopa, Aggron, Lop. So big threat, obviously, to the first two is Slowbro because it just wins. Doesn't beat Hoopa though. And from this preview, I would probably guess Hoopa's coming out. Tensai is playing reactionary to the Slowbro, which is like just an auto win versus the first two guys. So, but what I wasn't crazy about the Hoopa pick because not a lot of people click Hoopa or click Slowbro against Hoopa. A lot of people get scared. A lot of people use Slowbro as leverage. I talked about this in my video. Use like the scary Slowbro as leverage to click a different person. Different Ma, I don't know why it's a person. And then Ma comes out. Ma was pretty safe as well. It only really loses to Aggron, which I don't even know if Euphonos knew that either. Tensai was Curse, I believe, which if you're slower than the Mawile and you get taunted, you're slower, so it can't Metal Burst you, and if you're faster, you become slower with the Curse. So Aggron for sure beat Mawile. Lonzo was just scared of the Slowbro, like quite frankly. I'm totally expecting a Quirky Kieran Black in slot 1. Because it doesn't really need to be Scarf on this team because Burrow plus Ma handle, fast guys like why am I blanking? Greninja, Spit F Ma beats Greninja, Lop. What are some other fast dudes? Slowbro beats Zard. I'm like totally blanking on fast mons, but they kind of all lose to these two. So Euphonos, as his two guys have a good matchup, clicks the Ma, expecting the Hoopa, scared of the Hoopa maybe. Yeah. So this is just both these players kind of playing. Okay, I said last video I hate the word defensive. I do, but both these players played scared, I guess. Euphonos played scared of the Hoopa, and I told Tensai this. Hoopa's a big, scary looking, like, oh my god, bro, this mod is so scary. There's a Hoopa, I have to freak out on preview, right? So I think that's part of why the Ma got picked, is just scariness factor. Like sometimes a mon's like visual, like appearance, or like how easily it beats the mons that it beats. Like you just click Dark Pulse against Slowbro and you don't ever lose. That factors into people's thought process a lot of the time. I wasn't crazy about this Hoopa just because, I don't know. Ma's a Mon that when it gets good matchup, it is always a factor in that matchup. It's always a factor. I always see either the person expects the Ma and loses, or the Ma comes out and loses. That's usually what I see when I play or watch games. So, GG won, as the kids say. This game was actually really good by Tensai. Really good. So Tensai told me after the match, yeah, I expected Euphonos to be too pussy to click Ferrothorn into Charizard Genesect. This is something I talked a lot about in my last video about picking into, or assuming they won't pick the really hard 1-2, right? It doesn't beat either of these dudes. So assuming your opponent won't click the guy that beats one mon only, like there's no getting around that you always lose to these guys. That's a pretty good way to handle certain matchups that you think are good. Tensai is offensive 4 attacks, I believe. Yeah, for Heatran. Okay, you're about to see something really cool I liked. Euphonos expects Ho. Okay. This could be Hyper Beam. Let me endure. And Tensai clicks Bulldoze, which was really good. I totally forgot about that. It's like the Heatran check on the team, so it makes sense. I'm going to calc something really quick. Altaria Mega. Is there a Bulldoze one? Bulldoze is Rock here. It's a set. First Manaphy. Standard cast up. So at -1, this thing is 158. So yeah, this is why I really love this play, is because cussed out Manaphy is rarely fast. So no matter what, Tensai gets mileage out of the Bulldoze because they can Hyper Beam next turn or Hyper Voice if that's in range or whatever. Euphonos for sure should have double endured here, by the way, but I think he expected no Hyper Beam. I think he expected Cotton Guard, Roost, Hyper Voice, Bulldoze, which is low-key a bad set, but he didn't expect the Beam here, so I understand why he did not endure. This did 44, so he was going for rolls, I believe. This makes sense, actually. I don't know, and especially if, hold on, let's see. Okay, yeah, this is a shit roll. Not that he knew this set, but yeah, that's a shit roll. No, I think this was probably the right play. I'm hoping for Cotton Guard. Especially because these aren't super, like, Fizz-Def wall guys. Even though I think Cotton Guard, Roost, and Oras is, like, a complete scam and, like, does nothing. This is a really interesting game. Both players made some cool plays. Love that game. Game 3. This is a really bad... This is, like... This game is how I expected every single OGPL series to go. To have one of these games. So, okay. This is everything I hate about modern 1v1 players. So, okay. Both players drop timer a lot in a very simple matchup, by the way. Very simple matchup. I'm not saying in a simple matchup you have to instantly click, but I have no clue what these fuckers were thinking about, actually. I have no clue what these fuckers were thinking about. Chomp is coming here. Serp is coming here. Like, I could tell you very quickly. There's no reason to go any of the teammates whatsoever. And this is like really like a cringeworthy turn. So, here's what I hate in Water 1v1. Drop timer, think a lot. I'm thinking really hard. Into immediate choke on dicks. This was a complete nonsense play for like 10 million reasons. So, it's AV Serp, right? And Garchomp Mega, I think it may have been this set. I'm willing to bet it is, actually, by the way. For 2 reasons. So, Tensai clicks Dragon Pulse, which is just weaker than Leaf Storm. The justification was Tensai didn't calc and assumed, wait, what is D-Pulse for? I talked with them after the game, I'm not just making this up. What is D-Pulse for? Oh, it's for Garchomp, because what else would it hit? Unfortunately, even regular Garchomp, this is not a viable click. You Leaf Storm, get the boost, 37, and then it dies, right? So I believe I believe Dez gave you Phonos to set. I think they're on the same team. Don't quote me on that. I think they're on the same team, and this is a team or a set I gave Dez a very long time ago to beat. No, I think it runs sub over. It runs sub over like one of these moves. I think Rock 2 maybe. I think this is a set, but this is a set to lure Lopunny. And there's 2 mons that get destroyed by Lob. So I think because the other Garchomp set is just does Mega Chomp in here? Basically, the other Chomp is like sub SD EQ Rock Tomb with some Spadef. Beats Mew, beats Zard, beats fuckers. I think this was the Bulldoze set, right? Outrage, only because it's the only like clickable move. So I have no idea what was going on here. I hate spam timer drop into choke on dicks. It just pisses me off because it's like, what the fuck are you thinking about here, bro? I think Tensai was no thoughts at emptying. Euphonos was thinking, okay, well, I fucking lose the Serp. Let me just hope that this is a bad Serp set or choke on dicks. Luckily, AV Serp is horrible and Tensai choked on dicks. Though this would have been a kind of not amazing game regardless because it came down to rolls, so it would have been stupid. It would have been quite stupid. But obviously you Leaf Storm because number 1, it does more damage. Number 2, it lets you have a stronger Dragon Pulse if you do get a high roll. And number 3, Dragon Pulse does no fucking damage. Right? There's not Leaf Storm here. Stronger. Accuracy. There's like a fine line in when you should consider accuracy. If considering accuracy means you are throwing the fucking game, then do not consider accuracy on your moves. Just don't. And then you see by the next Leaf Storm that 34 times 2 is 68. So this thing would have super died to Leaf Storm. Or maybe even Leaf Storm Deep Pulse. So yeah, this was a absolutely fucking horrendous game. Just objectively. What I have to say to this is think about your moves instead of, oh, this is super effective. You know, like this is just terrible. In the future, Calc, because Deep Pulse was not even stronger than Leaf Storm. Calc, think about your sequencing. Blah, blah, blah. This was not something I wanted to see. It was pretty hilarious, though, I gotta say. I didn't even watch it live, unfortunately. But it is funny. And this game is something I tried to tell Tensai about beforehand. I played a lot of friendlies with them, and they like to... Tensai likes to click a lot of mons that are like hard calling out a weak click, like a 1-2. It's basically... It's kind of like a 1-2 into a 1-2. Tensai really likes those. Tensai likes calling out mons with bad matchup for some reason, and this game is no exception. Basically, here's how I see this matchup, okay? From neutral, unbiased, or S player. It is fairly unlikely that Tensai is HP Fire Mellow plus Heatran. Fairly unlikely, not uncertain, but the odds are not like really, really, really high. It could be both. It could be both. But Euphonos is thinking, damn, I lose to HP Fire Meloetta. I need to click Genesect and hope they are not HP Fire Meloetta with a Heatran with a Manaphy. That doesn't make a ton of sense, right? I need to hope that this is not an HP Fire Mellow with a Heatran, which is not the craziest assumption whatsoever. AV, for those who do not know, AV Lando was like very briefly a thing, but it never really had a lot of tournament use. They are usually Scarf or Band or SD or Calm Mind or Spexter, like literally anything but AV that are used in tournament. With no Zard Y in the meta, there's like damn near zero reason to run AV because PZ just specs hyper beams you. That was a calling thing of AVs. Oh, you lose Scarf Hyper Beam, but also you lose to Specs PZ. Also, you lose to Greninja with Scarf Beats. So this is looking like a Scarf. This looks to me like Scarf Lando Specs Gen random. I don't know what Venu. I don't really know. That's what I see. I see a Specs and a Scarfer right here. It could theoretically be Scarf Genesect Band Landorus, which isn't the worst thing. But Band Lando doesn't like to run knockoff, so it would still lose to Meloetta, I believe. Let's calc real quick. Bander's T. We can even run Adamant. Why not? Meloetta. Yeah, this shit does not kill. Wow, it's literally bulked. Fucking insane. I don't know what is this. Dude, this was not a set when this was made, so I don't really know what's happening. Fuck. Meloetta. Big threat here. So Euphonos just clicks into it. And Tensai randomly, like, expects AV Lando? Okay. Tensai thought Euphonos was going to be scared of Taunt Heatran. That was their thought process, right? But, like, HP Fire Gen or Mellow is literally a 3-0 possibility, right? So surely that is the more pressing matter, am I right? Tensai goes into Fizz Def Manaphy trying to catch a Lando, which I think is actually a horrible play because, like I said, AV Lando is pretty much extinct at this point, just because it doesn't really beat anything. So Meloetta just beat it. Like, yeah, you're scared of the AV Lando, but it's they can be a set that has a good matchup versus you. That is possible. But unfortunately, that would involve a set that doesn't. I'm not saying, oh, you should have known no one uses AV Lando, but I'm saying it's very unlikely that it is AV Lando on this team. I don't really know who uses that set, and Tensai pays for it. Because instead of using the Meloetta as leverage to go into Heatran or whatever, they were not HP Fire Genesect, by the way, or Melo up, by the way. I'm just going to say that. Instead of using the Melo as leverage or as the defensive Mon into these two, Tensai kind of just clicks a Mon that beats a fake set. So, GG's. It's kind of hard to know that people don't like AV Lando because you don't have Pokepace of everyone's teams or you don't watch a shitload of ORAS games like I do. But that set has like no use in the modern day. So, yeah. Way more likely Band or Scarf than anything else. So GG's. Tensai made a few mistakes. One, not viewing the opponent's perspective, I think was big. In maybe game 1 and game 4. And then game 3, just not calculating or just using the brain whatsoever. So yeah, that was. Let me see how we're doing on time. 18 minutes, whatever. Life goes on. So now I wanted to talk about semester. I'm going completely out of order, by the way. I think. Yeah, I am. So we're gonna do some more game review. Basically, Straven hit me up and he's like, "Yo, Dom, it would be cool if you like went over some sets of mine, or like gave me some advice on how I beat newer players," which I think is really, really cool, by the way. I think Strav, I have a lot of faith in Strav just because his motivation to improve and learn from people who are better than him is, it's really, really cool. If any of you guys have any, like, what did I do wrong this series, just DM me on Discord. But basically, the topic came to, it was first, okay, how do I beat noobs? And then it was, okay, do you want to go over some series? And I said, sure. So let's go. We got some games. This game. So, This is like a tier unfamiliarity diff. Basically, I don't think Strav realizes that this is very likely Mellow at a P with Relic Song, Fighting Gym Close Combat. It's pretty common set in Black White. It's with two other special attackers that don't really do anything to, like, say, normal types, right? It's very likely that this is a Mellow at a P. I thought that on preview. 3 special attackers lose to, like, any normal type ever. Kind of weak to ground types or stuff like that. Not that Mellow at a P doesn't help with ground types like whatsoever, but just for this example. Strav decides to go Pylos 1 because it beats the steel types and possibly specs Mellow. I don't actually know, really. And then he gets Relic Song on, unfortunately. I think objectively, like, if you know the tier, Shaman is the best pick here. No one really wants to lose to Pylos 1, right? And you can, even if you're, because he was Scarf, which is really bad versus Scarf PZ, which is really bad versus Mellow. Even if he even if you was Scarf PZ and the matchup was bad, you can at least sub and force like a CC or a Giga Impact. Subbing on Shaman is definitely a cool play you can do. That's like the type of thing I used to think about when I played tournament games. Is like, what unexpected play can I use to salvage a bad matchup? He has a bad matchup for sure with this fucking Shaman Mellow at a P thing. But I think if you click the move Substitute, it's actually not a bad matchup at all. So using unconventional plays as leverage, risky plays as leverage, all that just gets clipped by. If you watch, like I said, okay, so I haven't seen anything that shows you don't understand the tier. Was that the case for Mellow at a P? Partly, yeah, okay. So for that, I just recommend players who spam standard shit. Like for Black White, Itchy Lumi, like Philstein, for this tour, Jadbert Slave. Yeah, that's my advice, is watch a lot of games and watch a lot of players who just bring standard shit. The Black White sets comp is a complete fucking disaster, so I wouldn't like say you need to learn up on that. I think the Aura sets comp is my Aura sets comp is really good, so if you want to learn from that, you can. But the Black White one is kind of terrible, so I'm not gonna preach that. I just kind of preach watching games, building games, playing games. Hey, when I want a best of 5, you know, just get some reps in. I thought this was a really obvious Mellow to P. I don't see Specs Mellow too much. I did run it in World Cup, but it's not super common, I don't think. And Kaif has ran like Trick Room and shit. So be aware of that. I don't mind I don't hate the Pylos Wine click. But I thought that was just a really obvious Mellow piece, so. He was Scarf, so which doesn't kill Mellow. I asked him for his pace. I'm not obviously going to pace his fucking teams in this video. Next game. So I had like a schizo thing to teach about this. So this. Oh wow! Look at how weak Kaif plays is to Crustle, man. That's so crazy, bro. What the heck, bro? This is a free win, right? Counter, obviously a super risky play. 99 is kind of hilarious, by the way. Counter is a super risky play because you can just get SD'd or flung or like whatever. So, risky play. Strav says, I'm just going to rock Wrecker, rocks. So, if you do not know, watch this. I got to go Black White real quick. Shouts to the calc sets being in here. It's pretty cool. I like it a lot, actually. This does 121 min to like normal Haxoruses, right? Right? Normal Haxorus, 121. Cool, man. But unfortunately, this is Impish Haxorus, or some shit like that. I don't even fucking, bro. 86. Oh, what is going on here? Yeah, it had to be some shit like this, dude. What the fuck? This is insane, by the way. So I asked him, I'm so fucking confused. I ran calcs, this makes no sense. Okay, but then I said, this is why I hate black-white crustle type mons. They're one-dimensional as fuck and get targeted, lured, caught in the crossfire. How many times did I run black-white crustle? Maybe one team in 2 tours. So then I talk about crustle. Then I asked, how many crustles did you load before that set, out of curiosity? This is my first black-white series, lol. What about the player before you on your team? Joker had to say about 2. IRLSF, Karas was, ... I'm talking about crustle count. Do you remember? No. Ha, let me check. I remember doing self-scout. Most used mon. Bro. Come on, they gave me the teams. I call his teammates fucking stupid. So, okay, here's my point. My point was, you can read on the screen if you don't want to listen to my voice or something. Crustle's a really good example of a, like, insanely one-dimensional mon, right? You click Shelf Smash and then Rock Wrecker. That's like the only way to win games in Black White 1v1. Other than Choice Band, which clicks Rock Wrecker turn 1, which is, like, kind of worse Rock Gem. But you have a stronger X's or stronger EQ, whatever, right? Basically, right? Crustle is a one-dimensional mon, and having a one-dimensional mon at the top of your usage is very harmful to, like, your patterns. Crustle's not a mon you should just bring every week casually. Crustle's a mon that I like to either bring and then stop, and then bring and then stop, and then use as a glue and then stop. Like, Crustle is so one-dimensional that over-relying on a mon like Black-White Crustle will get you punished like it did here. It was his team's #1 used mon. They just scouted and saw, hey, these guys spam Crustle. Let me make a Crustle lure team. It was that simple. It was that fucking simple. Shell Smash is like a fake-ass play because you just lose the Scarf. Counter is like a little bit more reasonable, but you just lose to SD or Taunt or like whatever the fuck, right? So, yeah, do not spam like really one-dimensional mons. Like, I think mons like Oras Zard, Oras Manaphy, SMD Knight, even SM, like spamming SMD Knight can get dangerous because you can get like ICM Z'd by Fairmos or whatever the fuck, right? DOS like Ela Bandit did in 2019. Mons that have like 2 times weaknesses or very one-dimensional mons should not be at the top of your usage. They just should not. They just should not be at your top of usage. It's pretty simple. The top of my here, I had this like cringe ass self scout shit, right? The top of my use was Shaman, which I used a lot of different sets. I ran Subseed, I ran Tangaberry with Air Slash Quick Attack for Haircross, Akaberry. I don't think I ran Yachi. I ran Specs as fuck. I hella ran Specs. I ran Worry Seed, Fizz Def, Rocky Helmet, which beats Snorlax. Really cool set. I ran like 5 million Shamans. And you don't have a quad weakness. Genesect, I only ran with Akka, I'm pretty sure. So that kind of eliminates a quad weakness because fire types in Black White are fucking bad. And HP Fire and Flamethrower don't always kill you, so yeah. Heatran a little bit more than I'd want. Heatran at the top of your usage. I remember Zach last 1v1 PL was like, hey guys, why, like, Oras is so stupid. You just get like matchup fished by like Zard with the right coverage move, and it's like, bro, the Mega Rays had ran 4 or 5 Heatrans in 2 weeks. That's why you got brick breaked. I mean, Oras has a problem with Zard at that point, with like Zard Y, Zard X, all that shit. Zard Y is not banned, but it's not the tier's fault that you're over relying on one-dimensional mons that are very easy to tech. Crustle's insanely easy to tech, so I had a huge issue with that. It's just Crustle's should not be your #1 used mon, bro. It just should not. There's like it's like kind of a gray area, like what your #1 used mon should be. Crest is I don't know. Crest can kind of be teched in Black White maybe. In SS it's like almost impossible to tech. It's like fucking you just either counter it or you don't. Not really. Some like SS mainer in my chat is gonna, or my comments is gonna be like, dude, actually you can do like this Primarina set and always beat Crest, and it's like, okay, bud, you missed the point. But basically, do not use very, very predictable mons as your number one, or like as glues commonly. Change up your glues. Change up your mons that kind of do the same thing, because they will be a liability if not. So, game 3, I think it was this one. He just got hacked, right? Yeah. I was wondering, hey, how the fuck does Genesect lose here? Kaif just ran a bad check. I said something about EV checking. Hold on, what was it? Clicking Gen is slightly risky because Crustle, he can just Crustle and EV check you. He was up 2-0, right? So Crustle just being like, hey, I wonder if he's bulked for this. Let's see. Let's see if he's bulked for this, guys, because he's up 2-0. He can do that, right? Strav was down. Should have obviously won this game, but that's not how it ended up. So GG's. Game 1, know the meta better. Set read a little more. I hate set reading, but on that team, like, it's really obvious he's not Specs Mellow. Game 2, don't over rely on simple one-dimensional mons. Game 3, don't get hacks. Lamau. GG's. Having on train shot the mons is good. I didn't get bodied that much. Crustle super easy to attack. Easy target. Sucker punch, random cut step, random wisp, etc. Spamming standard sets is not the move. Always, I think getting in the habits of making sets that like beat different combinations of mons that people aren't expecting is a really, 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 really good tournament habit, by the way. Just constantly like making little meta tweaks with their sets and just making it so that you're running a set that they don't expect you to. Pretty simple. Good thing to do. There's a fine line between like mons that are like Aurazard that are like not very easy to see team and are very versatile and strong and bulky and all that shit. So he asked about SS. I don't remember the series at all. Game 1, okay, I said I like the pressure that Aleki puts at preview. Or I like No, he's not the Lecky. So I think I meant Spec Trigger. I think I meant Spec, right? My thought was this is a tough matchup. I'd probably write Pier because it would be good against Lando, Lecky. I meant I like the pressure he put as Spectre because it's really good versus Corv. And Venu beats Lando, I believe, so he just goes Venu. This is like hilarious, by the way. I've never seen recharge while asleep. That is fucking hilarious. I don't know if he knew about that, but if he did, bravo. My thing about like SS Venusaur type mons is that like in the middle of, or like the end of SS, everyone started like spamming Custap Venusaur as like the only set. And at that point, it's like, maybe you should revisit fucking Sleep Powder Leech Seed Venu, because that set is still good and people aren't building for it. So, and last PL Crucify whipped out like some banned Lax, which was like an old set. Because everyone was like trying to set up on Lax. So it's like, okay, I'll just Oko you. He used drum and band because Lax is so centralizing. People had to run these like weird setup sets to win, but they got a code, including me. So GG's. Yeah, this was cool. I like the pressure he puts with Spec preview. If it's AV Lando, I think it lost, but whatever. What did I say? Game 2, maybe I'm missing some mainer info, but his team is kind of ambiguous with sets. Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck this team would be, because it could be like Scarf Dharm for Polt in like Urshifu Rapid, or like Scarf Dharm for Spec 2 because you have Lash Out. I didn't know what I can't read this team. I think Entei is really concerning. So, fucking maybe he's rapid. I don't fucking know. What did I say? I said he's probably gonna ripe, scared of, I don't know, blanchiment, and lose to Shifu. I thought he was gonna ripe, scared of like Darmji or this fucker Registeel, and just get Urshifu'd. But he makes the Zarude play, which I really like. Basically using Rhyperior as a way to get Zarude to win. He's like sub-reversal. GG. And he loses this series. Fun fact, by the way. This game, I said in the doc, the chat, since I know you lost a series, I think you just clicked ban, pult, and lost. And that's exactly what happened. Blanche making the wavy-ass play of Azu while non-sap sipper Azu while down 1-2. That's fucking fire, dude. So I think Strav expected Goodra to come out on a not obvious, on like a, oh, he didn't know I'm banned pult. But Blanche is pretty confident he's going pult, so he's like not gonna try to set guess or anything like that. I really like this Azu. That was really fucking fire. Holy shit. 95% of 1v1 players would not do this Azu, I think. Yeah, it's exactly, you brain dead click pult and lose. If that Goodra was a pick, ban pult, man, it can make sense because he loses to stall Amnesia Azu, right? With Sap Sipper. Amnesia for Volcanion, Sap Sipper for this guy, you just kind of beat this guy. So I understand this play a lot, actually. Because it's like, I want to hit the Goodra, and I lose Sap Sipper Azu anyways, Lamau. Even though Sap Sipper on an Arcanine Goodra team is like, bro, no. Not likely. What's this game? This is where he just loses to PT, right? This is just a stall breaker diff. Strav doesn't have a good stall breaker. I would have clicked Lele like 9 million times here, even if I lost. Because maybe you can try to get Blanche to think you're taunt. I don't know. I think he wasn't taunt, but this team just lacked a strong stall breaker. I think this team probably, I have the import if I wanted to check my Discord DMs, but this team looks weak to Crest, looks kind of weak to like Corsola, if it's not taunt. So actually maybe Lele beats Corsola, but you know like stall fuckers. Maybe it loses. Nah, it probably doesn't lose to Registeel. I don't really know what Heatran's people like that. Do people run a fucking balloon? I'm not sure. It's just he was weak to stall and got stalled. He got matchup fish by P2. That's not a real mon. And then here's what I have to say about his game 5 team. This as your game 5 team is so bad, bro. He brought like 2 insanely fake mons that are like shit defensively. And then what? Okay, I don't even know what happens this game. Does he get Azu'd? No, he gets Lando'd. Okay. I kind of hate this Lando, actually. Because you can just lose to Ice Punch Metagross. Blanche plays weird, though. So, basically what I tried telling him is, I think the Game 5 team is just bad. Because, like, Game 5 is when you should be bringing out your shooters. You got your Azu, your Metagross here, right? 2 good mons. Lando, matchup fish, plus beats a lot of stuff solidly. Okay. Probably the Celestial will check on this team. Meanwhile, Strav brings a fucking Dracovish and a Rotom Heat. Those guys are like fringe, like B- mons, bro. They don't really have any defensive utility. They lose to like dragons, they lose to fairies, they lose to normals, they lose to like kind of fightings, they lose to literally everything. And then you have Metagross trying to carry. I just thought this team sucked balls. Vish was probably the click here. But he was scared of Azu. This is kind of why I'm like not the biggest hater of this Lando Game 5 is because a lot of Game 5 sometimes people shrivel up and just click their fairy, they click their safe guy, they click their whatever, right? They click their mon that they think has the best chance to win statistically. In terms of like beating mons, beating sets type shit, but Blanchett YOLOs. Maybe he uses like mainer, like his SS mainer skills to discover that this is not Scarf Metagross, but I think it could be because Dracovish can lose the Scarf to Custop Chomp, so I would not eliminate Ice Punch Metagross from the realm of possibility. But this like weird Lando that kind of assumes. Oh, I think he was Smackdown actually, which I think beats Rotom. So this makes more sense that I think about it. He clicked into Rotom and Metagross. Okay. He assumed that he would not Vish onto the Azu. Okay. That makes more sense now that I think about it. So yeah, bring a better team than like two fucking bums, but also like no. This is like a playstyle diff because a lot of players will fold and just click their fairy, but Blanche plays really fucking weird and risky. Like if you could not tell from that if you could not tell from this fucking Azu that he plays risky, then I don't really know what to tell you. So then I was giving him a lesson about just use better Pokemon. Just use more trustworthy Pokemon Game 5. It's pretty simple. And then... No, this is not it. This is the wrong replay. Please don't tell me it's hidden. Oh my god, it's private, dude. Is it here? No. Gen 4 1v1. Hey, let me just go back. Okay, basically, the point I was trying to make, but I like lost the replay or something. Okay, no, here's a play I like from him. There's, so random pump, random grass knot. Wait, why the fuck did he endure? Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Basically, I really fucking love how Stravage played this. Basically, Grass Knot does a lot of damage, so Youth is thinking, okay, I'm gonna endure here because endure is useless and it's high priority, right? So he's gonna try to disable the move that 3 KOs because his damage is not fucking doing anything. But Stravage is YOLOs, knowing that he's gonna play around the endure because around the disable because he's a fucking DPP 1v1 mainer, and then pumps. And then pumps again. And now he can sub into Pataya, right? Oh my god, that's so sexy. Holy shit. Yeah. Amazing. Did he not have Draco? Draco probably did. Dude, he had 4 pumps. Holy moly. Yeah, he had 4 pumps, man. Pretty crazy, but I fucking loved this pump here. I loved the fuck out of it because like I said in my last video, call out people for making obvious reads or like obvious finesses, right? I said Dom points. You call him on it like a swag lord. That's a winning play. That's a super winning play. Is knowing how people react to the meta and then just like finessing the finesse. Oh my god, sexy play. But the point I was trying to make, these HG. Oh wait, this was the end, right? I think he played Euphonos twice. Basically, Euphonos runs hella crack, right? Like he ran fucking Mamoswine, Moltres, and Polion. But this was not Game 5. Game 5, There's the game 5 here. Game 5, Euphonos loads Zapdos fighting type steel type. And then in another game 5, he loaded Zapdos Tyranitar Celebi. So this is like tying back to the fucking the SS game. Is like even Euphonos, who literally runs crack 24/7, knows to run his best guys game fucking 5. He has learned from Iron Ball slacking. He is like, okay, I can troll and try to win with these funny guys, but game 5, I'm serious. I want neutral matchup. I want to be able to have the tools to win. So if Euphonos is locking in and running like actual Pokemon, then you should know, damn, I need to not run Dracovish plus Rotom Heat game 5. And I think the only exception is like if it is a really good matchup fish versus their usage or what they've brought in this series. And even then, I wouldn't stack 2 matchup fishes next to each other. I think like in terms of fucking like what is the worst thing you should run game 5, it's probably just like a matchup fish that looks good. I'm a big proponent of just like running 3 broken guys game 5 in a non-predictable way too. And then so that is how to fight randoms, right? Or no, that's how to fight, or that's VOD review, dude. It's almost 1 a.m. My fault. So he asked me last point of the video. He asked me, how do you battle randoms? I don't know why, but I have more difficulty versus them than established players. So I said, okay, basically, it's not actually that hard because they're not that good at the game, right? But it seems hard because you don't know what they're thinking about, so you don't know what the mind game is, and you don't know how to finesse, right? Like I established in the video, the main tool I use is viewing things from my opponent's perspective. Randoms like to pick safe or what feels good to them most times instead of genuinely trying to read. Sometimes they will read into a big threat, but they don't like to pull like big tournament player triggers. Like, do I think fucking like 13 post that guy who's 15 on Smogon is gonna make that like Azu pick that Blanche makes? I think more often than not, no, they are not going to do that. They don't like to make pulled big triggers. They don't like to like really be big baller. They like to just fucking click what looks good to them, right? In every game, they don't really adjust or do a whole lot. The most adjusting they do usually is like, I mean, they can adjust. I'm not saying no noob has ever adjusted, but I'm saying like the biggest adjustment they'll do is they'll like, instead of pulling teams from this one person, they'll pull it from a sampler or a different person or like other, you know, they just have different. If their first 2 teams lose, they might have a different team source, you know. That's what I've noticed. Sometimes they will do shit that is completely fucking nonsense, and that's fine because it shows that they don't understand the matchups, the meta, the tier. Rarely will there be a serious threat to win 3 games off being a fucking idiot. Also, I think teams are really important. Okay, this is like my main thing. Honestly, this is my main tip for noob farming. You should just run really good teams, run broken teams, run anti-meta teams. Like, that is really, really helpful for noob farming. Is like just they are not C-teaming you, bro. You can run teams that you have on your usage if you really like them. They're not C-teaming. You don't have to build for round 1. You don't have to fucking, oh, I need to use this Volcanion even though I don't like Volcanion because they won't expect it, bro. Run what you like versus noobs, and run what is really good versus the meta and what like catches people off guard. If you don't have teams like that, maybe make some. Maybe make some teams that are like, okay, people aren't using this set, or people aren't using, no, I don't know, I'm just gonna give an example. Scarf Porygon Z counters in SS. I'm gonna run Scarf Porygon Z. I did notice I don't think people are on Scarf PZ a lot. Maybe because it sucks. Probably because it sucks, actually. But like, that's just something you can notice. Like, oh, people don't run checks to this set of this mon that theoretically is a thing, but isn't actually a thing, you know. People like me and Crazy, I like to notice what we win with and what loses. Once you like find teams that you win with, it's better. It's simply better. You're just more observant. You're more in the know. You're more self-aware. And once you use teams that win, you can win, right? Very simple. I like to load just shit that wins. I'm a big friendly player, test game player, so I like know what teams I kind of win with and lose with a lot. So versus random or mid players, you can do that. If it's late into a tour and you're fighting a random, you can just C-team them because they're probably not building a ton of different stuff. Most people kind of suck at like true C teaming though. But you can definitely try, especially if their sample size is low, and replays our forced public since round 2, which is like one of the worst fucking changes I've ever seen in my entire life, by the way. Short tangent. In Classic, I lost Black White Cup round 1 to Smelly Socks, unlucky matchup. After like clicking 3 0-3s in a row because I suck, and then I got hacked a little bit and got shit matchup in SM, so I lost. I also just made some not amazing clicks, I think. Like, it was kind of my fault, kind of not. So I was like, down SM, down Black White. So I'm like, well, replace the public now. I guess I can just C-team literally everyone. And I did, and then I got locked in Classic playoffs as like a 3 seed, and then like, it was very easy to make playoffs once I just saw that I could just C-team everyone. Yeah, anyway, tangent aside. You can C-team people who kind of run the same shit, obviously. What if it's for kickoff? I don't know this gen. Okay, I said tell me about it because it's not exciting at all. Basically, it's harder for me to give advice on a completely new meta. Laddering is a good resource just to like see what people are kind of using. Ladder players like to use sets that are fake as fuck, or like team structures that are like terrible. But just playing the tier if you can, because there's not going to be any kickoff tours of a fucking old gen. If you like, the only thing I can think of is like, oh, Black White is hosting a money tour, and I've never played Black White in my life. And to that I say, build Black White, watch Black White, play people in Black White. It's very simple, right? For kickoff, okay, this is like a point I wanted to make to him. Is people are kind of like sheep right now in 1v1. Most players are kind of sheepish to some extent, right? So I gave him this example. So this is a fucking hilarious game, by the way. Basically, I was watching NBA playoffs in VC with eBlurb and Spiders and some other Mafia people who I think are really cool, by the way. Like those dudes. I think Lit 11 and Zorquax were maybe there but muted. I don't know. Someone brought up like LT. I think maybe they brought up the fact that one of them was playing Smelly Socks. And I'm like, yo, let me make a fucking team real quick. Because I'm like, I saw a few people complain about Hoop Unbound and say Hoop Unbound is good. And I looked at the fucking like list of mons and I'm like, Hoop Unbound kind of beats everything. So my plan is to make a Hoop Unbound lure. And meanwhile, this is a literal fucking NBA commercial, right? By the way, like, I was fucking trolling. I was like putting zero effort into this shit. So I'm like, yo, Life Orb, U-turn, Iron Bundle. Let me build this shit. And then it did 70. It did 70, bro. It did fucking 70. It did fucking 70, bro. I think eBlurb told me, yo, this doesn't kill, and I like told him to shut the fuck up or like ignore him or something. I was like hard trolling. I'm like, yo, Ursaluna looks swag. Yo, Hoopa looks broken. Yo, I have a Hoopa lure. Let's fucking get it. I was like putting literally zero thought into building, and I somehow fucking caught a Hoop Unbound. Because I'm just like, people are kind of sheeps to what they think is broken because they think they look cool for running broke. It's like, oh my god, bro, you're running this mon that got banned in 2 months later, dude. You're so smart. You're so ahead of the meta. You're so cool. You're such a good 1v1 player. You're so aware. It's like, bro, people are kind of sheep to some extent. And if you kind of like feel the vibe of like what mon people think is cool to spam, then you can target that. That's what I told him of like for round 1. It's like if this mon is getting spammed like Hoop Unbound, you can target that. Like, this shit was actually fucking comedy, by the way. I laid dude not one thing about the meta. And the alert like maybe would have worked if I like had brain cells. Unfortunately I don't. Yeah, TLDR, expect some broken shit. Ladder significantly nerf resource, but for kickoff seems helpful. There's a lot less people. No, this is such facts, by the way. Not a lot of people like really like have a super distinct approach to 1v1. So once you kind of look at randoms as like a little homogenous, then like you can like it seems almost counterintuitive. Like, oh, once you think of randoms as all the exact same, it gets easier. But I think it's like assessing your opponent. Like if you're a random, you're probably not random for a reason, right? Right? Maybe I'm tripping about that. But for me, I became a really good noob farmer. And once I just saw them as like, oh, they usually just click what's safe and what looks good to them, and I need to just bring what like my best teams I have available that are not outdated. Like here, I'll give an example, right? No, I don't think it's a sample anymore. Basically, the Zard in World Cup 5, kind of like a mega thread. Yeah, okay. This is World Cup 4, dude. Holy World Cup 4. I hate this thread. I hate this thread. I hate this thread so much. It was in finals or S, right? So this. Oh no, it's not this. Why did I open semis up? Finals. Basically, this team was something I built. They're kind of the same, but this one's better because it doesn't have a fucking Terrakion on it. Basically, this team was like a point where I felt like Zard Y started becoming really, really good. This team just got good matchups into fucking everything, bro. Got good matchup here because it wasn't ready for hacks. Bam, bam, get owned. Zard Y was good. Serp was good. Because there was not a lot of other Zard spam. He was like the only person, right? So really this team's only bad matchup was Zard spam. Like, I think you get 3-0'd by like random shit. Maybe like Jolly, Scarfcure Black, I think. It might have been Pokezard. I don't know, dude. This team really, his only bad matchup was Zardex. And I'll show another example of this. It was World Cup 4. No, World Cup 3. Or semis. Nope, I don't care about usage. I don't care about usage. Semis, or and then finals. Ginger Princess. Let's go. This team. No. Yes. Okay. Basically, this team was another team I built that basically kind of beat everything. This team was basically, so I used it in semis. Got good matchup 1. I don't know why the fuck TDA loaded Merkur main chat, by the way. Still don't. And then Specs Victini beat Divinu, right? So this team was like relentlessly spammed for like fucking probably like 4 to 6 months. And this was just being aware of like, yo, this team is just ahead of everyone. It's just ahead of the meta, right? Those are the type of teams that I recommend versus randos. Even if they're revealed in Tour and motherfuckers like technically could know all the sets if they wanted to. Finding teams that are just like, this should win 65% of the time. Like, that's really good. That's how I categorize teams. Like, this team should win like way over 50% of the time just because it's good as fuck, right? So if you don't have teams like that, build some. As simple as that. Once you have a routine of just having like a good enough pool of teams, like if I build a PL worth of a tier, I can like grab probably like 10, 15 teams, maybe 20, probably like 10, 15 that I really like, and I'm like, yeah, these teams are really good. Because I'm picky, and you know, if I built them and I use them, then that means they're probably decent, maybe. There's not a lot of people try harding out. Okay, this is big. Most people like SS individuals, SV, whatever, current gen, whatever. They're kind of fucking dead until like the top. Like no one's really building or putting that much effort into their games. So So then I was like, yeah, basically round 1, round 2, your opponent will suck balls. Okay, round 3, round 4, they'll be mid, but I'm better. Round 5, round 6 is the real play, but also I can out-prep them or like look at how they play and all that shit. It's not like there's going to be a lot of like hidden bosses round 1 usually. I hope that answers the questions. This will be in the description. Blah blah blah. This was longer than I thought, but thanks for watching anyways.